Hello. Hi, hi. I think I'm live. Are we live now? I've got to do my mandatory check that we are indeed live. Use my laptop instead of my phone. How are you all? If you're here live, give me a wee hashtag live in the comments, and if you're on replay, give me a hashtag replay in the comments as well. I believe I am live. How fabulous. It's working. It's working. So if you are here, even if you are a bit of a lurker and never normally comment, please comment. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy on the inside, and people are indeed listening slash watching. So tonight's training is all about the carb conundrum. I'm sorry, I need to check weirdo eyebrow things that are happening. So before we go into the carb conundrum, I want to share with you my idiocy of today. So I had, honestly, this is ridiculous. So I had to go to a shop in, which was maybe about 20 minutes drive away, to pick up some stuff for Father's Day. Because if you don't know, Father's Day is on Sunday. Now, I was well aware of this. I have made plans to have my parents over for lunch on Sunday. So completely aware. And then suddenly it hit me like a ton of bricks today going, oh, man, I need to go and get stuff. So I had to go and get stuff. Anyway, come back, drove home. Then it was sports day today for Archie's school, which was a secret sports day. Parents were not allowed. But Archie's got one of these space watches and he messaged to say sports day is at 1 o'clock. So I was like, right, I'm gonna come down and see. So I jumped back in the car. And went down, couldn't find them. I think they'd done it so secretly that you can actually find them in the town. And this is not a big town that we live in. Anyway, so I drove back home, had a meeting, and then I had to go back out to get petrol. I was going to pick Archie up from school and get petrol. Could not find my purse. Now, this purse that I have, I love. It's bright orange. It's mulberry, and I got it for my birthday last year. I think I got it for my birthday last year, and I absolutely love it. And I treat it probably better than I treat the pets. Anyway, could not find my purse anyway, and I was in my office, I was in the bedroom, I was checking in cupboards and drawers and kitchen cupboards and fridge, handbags, could not find it. So I was like, fuck, what have I done? I had to phone the shop and go, hi, I was in earlier, I think I might have lost my purse, like a pure idiot. And like, oh, what colour is it? I was like, orange. And like, it's here. I was like, oh my, thank God. Thank God for that. So anyway, yeah, that was my idiocy today. So I have to drive all the way back to the shop. I'll maybe have dinner first and then go to the shop. So anyway, any other loss stories of your favourite items, please drop them in the comments below, because A, it makes me feel like I'm not alone, and B, it makes me feel like I'm not alone. So that's the reason why. Alrighty, so let's talk about carbs. So carbs is such a hot topic all the time, isn't it? And it's one of the things I hear a lot. So if you've ever, I'm in a lot of text messaging conversations with you girls all the time. And, I always ask, well, what have you tried before to reach your goals? And always 99% of the time, I've tried cutting carbs as in the top 3 things, right? So, the social media is awash with, carbs make you fat, too much insulin makes you fat, you're going to gain weight if you eat carbs, etc., etc., etc. And it's been especially prevalent. I'm in a couple of various groups on Facebook, some based in the US. Oh, frozen. Oh, no, I'm back. Some based in the US, some based in the UK, specifically for women in their 40s and 50s and perimenopausal and whatnot. And there just seems to be this blanket opinion that the only way that you can possibly get leaner and drop any form of weight in your 40s and 50s is by going on a very low carb diet, which just baffles my brain. Actually baffles my brain. And if none of you have seen the testimonials page of ours, go to teamamw.com/testimonials and look at what we can achieve without cutting carbs. Anyway, rant over. So let's talk about it in terms of the truth and in real life, because the truth's the truth, and we need everybody has a different truth and everybody needs a different truth for their own set of circumstances. So anyway, right, so what I see in the here and now and in real life is most women over consume on carbs, right? Not purposely. Most women, when they come into our environment and we're doing a deep dive into the nutrition, most women are probably consuming anywhere between 50 and 80% of their calories from a carbohydrate source. Now, a carbohydrate source doesn't just mean pasta, rice, bread, and potatoes. Carbohydrate source comes from all things that contain sugar. That also means vegetables and fruit. Okay, so there is no way in the world that somebody can tell me that carbs are bad, especially when that includes carrots, apples, bananas, berries, everything. Okay, so carbs, anything that involves sugar, that includes, so anything that maybe has an O's at the end, so fructose, lactose, etc., contains carbs, sugar, carbs. But anywhere up to about 80% of diet nutrition is coming from carbohydrate source. Right, and that is not due to a fault or a blame situation. There's a couple of reasons that we see as being the primary reasons why that happens. One is we have come from a generational point of view, we have come from the fat is bad generation, whether that affected us directly or our primary carers, i.e. our parents, aunties, grannies, etc., and fat is bad. And that's what we were told, that in order to lose body fat, you need to eat less fat, okay? Over the last 20 years or so-ish, that has been disproven completely. Now, this is very weird because I can see myself and I'm out of sync. My voice and picture are out of sync, so very weird. So we were told that fat is bad and fat will make you fat, and the rationale behind that is not, it is real, okay? So gram for gram, so if we compare fat and carbs, okay, a gram of fat contains 9 calories, and a gram of carbs contains 4 calories, a gram of protein contains 4. So gram for gram, you're consuming more calories by eating a fat source. Okay, so we were told that in order to be in a calorie deficit, which has been standard across the years, in order to be in a calorie deficit, it's easier to reduce our calories by eating less fat than it is anything else. So that's what kind of made that happen. So we've all been conditioned to eat less fat, which has then resulted in us eating a shit ton of Miller Lights and margarines and low-fat spreads and light mayonnaise, etc. So all of these things actually do have their place. However, the other reason why women tend to eat more carbs is because it's easy and they tend to taste nice. So if you think about, you're in a rush, you've got all your shiz going on, you've got team meetings, you've got one-to-ones, you've got Daisy's football practice, you've got parents' evening, you've got all the shit that life throws at us. It's easy to grab a packet of crisps. It's easy to slick a slice of bread in the toaster. It's easy to just make pasta for dinner because everybody likes it. It's easy and it's convenient for us, okay? So it's just easy to go and grab a can of Coke, packet of Golden Wonder, and that's your sustenance for the rest of the day, okay? So that's very, very easy to do. Now, carbohydrates fuel our bodies. It's our body's preferred source of fuel, okay? And there's going to be, this is for general population, there's going to be some medical conditions that this is not including, okay? So this is general population. I'm not going into personalized stuff here. But we hear a lot about, eating carbs gives us an insulin spike, and an insulin spike makes us fat. All right. So the more insulin you have, the hungrier you're going to be. So there's actually nothing scientific that proves that. Okay. There's been a shit ton of studies, and there's some studies that say, yes, that's the case. And then there's opposing studies that say, well, actually, no, it doesn't. No, this is the proof that says no. So there's nothing proven or disproven. But insulin in itself will not cause weight gain. being in a calorie surplus will make you gain weight. Okay, so it simply boils down to calories in versus calories out again. And what is theorized is that people that they eat more carbs, if you've got a diet that is, say, 50-60% carbs, that means that only 50 to 40% are made up of protein or fat. Okay, so if you eat more carbs, that naturally means you're eating less protein. And also, hi Lisa, but live but late, hi girl. But if you're eating less protein and eating less fat, we know that protein keeps you fuller for longer. So it mitigates that hunger spike that you might get. So you're eating more carbs than protein. So you are naturally going to be hungrier because you don't have the macronutrient that's keeping you fuller for longer. Okay, so that is what is theorized, and that makes sense. That actually makes sense. So one of the key things that we can look at doing is, if we know that we are over consuming carbs, and how would you know that? Well, a simple couple of days of tracking your food on something called MyFitnessPal, you don't need to have a set target. You don't need to know. It's just plug in all your food, and then you can check the button that just says macro split, and it will tell you as a percentage how much of your intake is of protein, of carbs, and is of fat. And we do need carbs in our diet. We absolutely want to keep them in, but we can look at making some simple swap outs if we need to. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear my pinging phone there, ping, ping, ping. But looking at some simple things that are going to help you have more energy, potentially help you on your way to losing body fat. And also, if you're eating less carbs, you're going to be eating more protein, which is going to fill you up for longer and make you snack less. So, I mean, looking at things like fizzy drinks, that's an easy swap out. Reduce down. If you're drinking 3 cans of Coke a day, reduce it down to 2 and have a litre of water instead of the 3rd can, and then do that for a few days or a few weeks, and then reduce it down again. We're trying to not overwhelm. We want to do simple changes that we can implement and stay consistent with, because if we can't do the consistency part, it's just wasted time, essentially. Fruit juices as well, something like a fresh orange juice is hugely carby heavy. Like, it's not unhealthy, it's got a shit ton of nutrients, but from a calorie point of view, huge amount of calories, and all comes through as carbohydrates as well. So again, you could swap that out with some water, or if you want and have to have more of a protein source, you could mix some of it with a protein powder or whatnot, and then you're changing the macronutrients a little bit. Snacking on things other than high carb snacks, being mindful that fat does contain more calories, but like Babybel Lights is a really popular example, jerky, peperamis, some nuts, hugely calorific nuts. I don't know, I think I might have told you about a client of mine that she couldn't understand why she wasn't losing any weight. And we were going through our meal plans, and there's nothing in the meals. I was like, what about snacks? What are we missing here? And it was nuts. And it was like, just a wee handful of nuts. I was like, well, see, next time you grab your handful of nuts, going to weigh it on the scales and let me know what it is. And we calculated that our handful of nuts was 300 odd calories per handful of nuts. And that was like a couple of handful of nuts a day. So yeah, that's a story about nuts. Snacks, eggs. Clara, if you're here, she will piss herself laughing. Apparently I can't get through a conversation without talking about eggs. Nature's superfood, absolutely. They're very low carb, they're very high in protein, they're also high in fat as well. Vegetables and whatnot. So see, when you like potatoes, when we talk about going low carb or reducing our carbs, we tend to cut out white carbs, starchy carbs, so bread, your pastas, your rices, your potatoes, right? You don't need to cut them out, but just look at the volume. A portion of pasta isn't the portion of pasta. Use your hands, use a cupped handful as your guide of cooked food. And if you're using MyFitnessPal, do it as dried food. but fill up on the veggies, get the nutrients from the veggies rather than bulking up on the carbs. Potatoes are an amazing super food. Don't cut the potatoes, but again, volume wise, use your hand portions to guide you on that one. Cupped handfuls. Use your fist for your potatoes cooked, and weigh them raw for MyFitnessPal. And again, protein all the way. We're wanting, I would anticipate for the most part, if you are using MyFitnessPal, 40% to 50% carbs is probably, where you roughly want to be, and play around with that. And take it slow. Don't try and do it all at once, just because it gets too overwhelming. And when it gets too overwhelming, we start seeing it as a chore. We can't do it. It goes back into the self-belief feedback loop that, every other diet that you might have tried hasn't worked, and that just reinforces that. So take it slow, little by little, step by step. Okay. So in terms of, I'm not here to tell you what the best diet is, because there is no best diet, there is no best approach. It is all down to individual preference, lifestyle, likes, dislikes, hormonals, all of these things. And if there was a one size fits all, it would be great. I wouldn't have a job, and I wouldn't have, our lovely clients. But there is no magic pill, there is no miracle, there is no one size fits all, especially when we get into, being in our 40s and 50s. So I think what we should be aiming to do is looking to find an eating pattern, a balanced eating pattern that works for us and our lifestyle and our families. It feels reasonable. It feels sustainable. Because if you can sustain it, it's not a diet then, it's just who you are. It's just part and parcel of your life. And that's what it should be. And it should be enjoyable. We hear this whole, I just wish I could see food as fuel, which is great if you were in an engine. And I know biologically, technically, it kind of is fuel for us, but we have taste buds for a reason. And, food should be enjoyable. It's part of our culture to socialize and share experiences and whatnot. And that doesn't mean sitting on the sofa shoveling cakes down your throat at all. That's not what we're talking about here. So, if we can get sustainability, if we can get consistency, and you can enjoy what you're doing, and it's not a chore and you're not rebelling against it, then that is an absolute win, regardless of whether you're eating carbs or not. So your key takeaways here, if you look at it and instead of focusing on, I'm eating too many carbs or not eating enough protein, think about some key principles of your food, of, looking to choose minimally processed, mostly single ingredient, nutrient dense food. That's an easy one. So instead of the Rustler's burger, go and grab some lower fat mince and shove some garlic, salt and pepper in it and make it into a patty and put it under the grill, right? That's a quick and easy. In fact, Rustler's burgers actually give me the bulk. I'm sorry if you eat them. Horrified by them. Getting enough lean protein, so having protein at every meal, making a conscious effort to have protein at every meal, especially if you're finding that you're getting that mid-afternoon slump or you're getting really, really hungry. Protein in the morning is going to help you with that. Getting your 5 portions of fruit and veg a day. So a lot of people think they're getting their 5 portions of fruit and veg a day, but they're really not. So looking at between 80 and 100 grams per portion. A cupped handful as a portion. 6 cherry tomatoes is 1 portion. I have that absolutely imprinted in my brain. I will die knowing that fact. I could have all the memory loss in the world, but I'll still remember 6 cherry tomatoes equals a portion. Anyway, vegetables, fruit every single meal. I like to do it 3 vegetables, 2 fruits. But if you're coming from a place of no vegetables, no fruits, then eat 5 portions of fruit. It's absolutely fine. You want to, again, it's about making it work for you, making it work for your set of circumstances. Managing your stress. I talk about stress in other trainings, but stress, the hormone cortisol plays havoc with our metabolism. And if we have, our metabolism is being havocked with, then it's going to make losing fat even harder, and you could be doing everything right. So, really work on your stress factors. What's going on in your life? What are you placing extra demands on yourself that you don't need to? So can I get to the crux of that? Get moving, girl. So, again, one of the common things is going back to the very first part of the conversation here about, what have you tried to lose the weight? Cutting carbs. Oh, I've tried going to the gym loads. Getting moving regularly and exercising. Try and take the focus of that away from losing weight and try and put focus on, I need to exercise so I can live longer. I need to exercise so I'm harder to kill. Essentially, you want to be harder to kill. You want to live longer. You want to live healthier. You don't want to be falling over and being stuck like a turtle on your back. You want to be able to get up if you fall. You want to be able to help others stand up if they fall. Think about exercise more about that rather than just a tool to lose weight. And looking at habits like if you're smoking, stop. Excessive alcohol consumption, which I feel as if I've got a bit of a cheek just now because I'm in the middle of writing a post about me when I left my old job, which was 4 years ago today. And if you've seen my Insta story, it's my farewell post to all my ex-colleagues. And I'm not going to lie, I did well up a little bit. So anyway, also on note, if you are on Instagram, I'm going to give me a follow, please, because I don't have many followers and I'm starting to quite enjoy using Instagram. So it's at Team EMW. Thank you. I would really much appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you, please. So fundamentally, looking at your overall lifestyle, use those topics there, they're the big rocks. They're the things that we should be focusing on. And if you can get them right, it doesn't matter whether you're eating white bread or pasta, it puts you in a really good place to be losing body fat, to be having a good, balanced, healthy lifestyle that is sustainable for life and enjoyable too. All right, so do we have any questions? Don't have any questions. That's fine. So I am going to be doing a live or a post over the next few days with regards to where to find evidence-backed data, science-backed data on supplements, on diet. Just there was a post last night in the group about a supplement that I'm not concerned about the supplement. Like I don't really care two hoots about the supplement, but I want to have people know where to go to find out factual information, to ensure that what they're doing is right for them and not going to cause any damage or harm, because I would not feel happy if anybody came to any harm or unhappiness at all. Not. So that will be coming. I don't actually know when I'm going to do that because I'm looking at the sheer volume of tabs open on my computer right now and freaking out. And the other thing is mini consultations. So I did this last week and had huge success with it. So what I'm going to do, if you're in a place that you're either stuck or you're fed up, or you want to move forward in some way or another, you don't know where to start, or you're overwhelmed, or anything at all, I'm going to put a link in the comments for mini consultations, which are going to be happening on tomorrow morning. I've got a little bit of time, a wee bit of patchy time in the afternoon, and do I have time on Friday? There might be a couple of spaces for Friday, but I will warn you now, on Friday, I am getting my nails done, and then I am out for the first time in a year. Something like that. So out, and I've got no idea what to wear, got no idea where to go, I don't even know what's open. So yeah, friends be with me. Anyway, so in summary, you don't need to cut out all the carbs. You do need to be mindful of the carbs. I'm going to share some information about resources. If you want a mini consultation, need 15 minutes of your time, I'm going to put a calendar link below. Book in. It's just a chin wag, nothing major. And yes, love you all dearly. Oh, and yeah, follow me on the old gram where all the cool kids hang out, apparently. I know that might be TikTok. Lisa, tell us more about TikTok. So yeah, have an awesome evening, my loves. Any questions, just pop them below. I'll get to them. And You've all been awesome. Thank you for being with me tonight. Take care. Bye bye.